Let me start with something you have probably experienced. You ask ChatGPT a question, and sometimes the answer is incredible, structured, thoughtful, and exactly what you needed. Then you ask another question, and the response feels vague or average. This inconsistency is confusing. And the reason is not the AI, it's the prompt you gave it. In this video, I'm going to teach you prompt engineering the right way. And if you understand this, you can apply it to ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Copilot, precisely any AI tool. Prompt engineering simply means giving clear, structured instructions to an AI. Think of an AI as a very fast learning intern. If you give vague instructions, you will get vague output. If you give clear instructions, you will get professional output. So, prompt engineering is not about being clever, it's about being clear. Now, let's make this more concrete. Think of AI like a new employee on day one. If you just say, write an email, the employee doesn't really know what to do. They don't know who the email is for, what the goal is, how formal it should be, or what role they are supposed to play. But the moment you explain who the email is for, what needs to be done, how it should be written, and who they should act like, suddenly the output improves. That structure has a name. It's called CTIDR. C stands for context, T for task, I for instructions, D for data, and R for role. CTIDR is not a prompt type, it's a grounding framework. It tells the AI, this is the world you are operating in. Let's discuss CTIDR in more depth. C, as in context, answers one simple question: what's the situation? For example, if I am asking the AI to write an email, I define the context like this: I need to send a professional email to my manager. This immediately tells the AI this is a workplace scenario, not a casual message, and not an email to a friend. T stands for task. Task is the action you want the AI to perform. Continuing the same example, my task would be write a clear and polite professional email. Now the AI knows exactly what it needs to do. So context sets the situation and task sets the action. I stands for instructions. Instructions answer one question: how should the AI behave? This is where quality is decided. Instructions control things like tone, length, format, and even what to avoid. For example, in our email, my instructions would be like: use a professional and respectful tone, keep it concise, and structure it with a subject line and an email body. Without instructions, the AI might still write an email, but the quality will be inconsistent. So, instructions are how you shape the output. D stands for data. Data answers one simple question: what information should the AI use? So, data is the raw material. This is where you provide the actual details instead of expecting the AI to guess. For our email example, the data would be: the recipient is my manager, the purpose is to request work from home, the key points are internet maintenance and availability on Slack and meetings, the date is tomorrow, and the sign off is my name. When you give clear data, the AI doesn't invent details, it works with facts. And finally, R stands for role. Role answers who should the AI act as. Role is powerful. It changes how the AI thinks. For our email example, I might say, act as a senior corporate communication expert. That single line influences the language, the tone, and the structure of the email. Without a role, the AI writes generically. With a role, the AI writes with intent. So that's CTIDR, the framework that grounds the AI. Once the AI is grounded, we can then decide how it should think. And that's where prompt styles come in. Let's start with the most basic prompt style, zero shot prompting. Now, you can use any LLM to test your prompts. I'm using Claude for this demo. You can register on their website and start a new conversation. All right, let me paste my prompt here. Now, you can observe that I'm not giving Claude any examples. I'm not showing it what a good email looks like. I'm only giving it clear instructions using the CTIDR framework. And this is what is called zero shot prompting. So let's observe the output. You can see that the email is coming up, email is correct. It looks professional. Nothing is technically wrong here, but you might observe this email is very generic. So you can just say that this is our baseline. This is exactly what zero shot prompting gives you. And this is where most people stop, but we won't. Let me show you how the same task improves when we give the AI examples. This is called few shot prompting. Now, in few shot prompting, I'm still asking the AI to write a professional email, but this time I'm giving it two examples. These examples act like a reference point. Now, watch how the output changes. Now, I'm going to run this. Notice the difference. The structure is cleaner, the tone feels more natural, the email flows better. I did not add more rules. I did not explain professionalism. I only showed examples. This is why few shot prompting is so powerful. For most daily tasks, few shot is the sweet spot. This is the best default prompt for daily work. But here's the key question. What happens when task is not that simple? What if the email is sensitive, the request is complex, or the information is messy? In those cases, the problem is not style, the problem is thinking. So instead of just showing the AI what good looks like, we guide it how it should think. This is what we will explore in our next prompt, which is called chain of thought prompting. Now, chain of thought doesn't replace instructions, rather, it sits on top of them. Notice I am still giving context, task, instructions, data, and role. And on top of that, I am adding the thinking steps. So I'm identifying the purpose, I'm deciding the tone, and I'm structuring the email, okay, and I'm saying write the final version. Now let's observe the output. Here is the final email. The difference is subtle here, but important. The email feels more structured and deliberate. That's what chain of thought gives you. It gives you reliability. Now, sometimes you don't want one answer, you want options. And that's where tree of thought prompting comes in. In tree of thought prompting, we ask the AI to explore multiple valid options. AI explores and human decides. I'm using the same email data. I'm not changing the task. I'm only asking the AI to generate different versions. Let's see how it works. So you're seeing version 1, the formal one, version 2, the neutral professional, and version 3, friendly professional. The AI did not guess which tone I wanted. It explored all reasonable options. Tree of thought is not about correctness, it's about choice. Once you choose the best version, the final step is to polish it. That's where meta prompting comes in. So, out of the three versions, let's say I am choosing the neutral profession one. So, I'll write that I'm choosing the neutral professional one. So, this is the version we are refining. So, as part of meta prompting, we are not changing the tone. We are just making the email tighter, clearer, and more precise. So you can think of meta prompting like an editor reviewing a draft. So now let me provide the prompt. As you can see, I have written that remove needless words, improve clarity and flow, make the ask more precise, and of course, maintain a professional tone. So let's see what output it generates. So you can notice that the meaning did not change, the quality did. So we can establish that meta prompting doesn't create, it just refines. So this is how you go from a correct email to a professional one. So with this, we come to the end of this video, and here is the big takeaway. AI doesn't replace thinking, it amplifies it. When you give vague instructions, you get average results. When you give clear instructions, you get professional results. That's what prompt engineering really is. I have shared this prompt library in the document linked in the description. Now, don't just copy it, use it as a template. Take another task from your own work and evolve it the same way. That's how you can truly master prompt engineering. Once you learn how to think in prompts, every AI tool becomes powerful. Thank you.